Hey, Facebook family. I wanted to share a message with you. Um, Last night I was coaching a buddy, and something came up about a relationship. And I've been hearing this story for a little while where the place that he's at, there's no women that inspire him, and on and on and on about the story. And it reminded me of a story that I wanted to share with you. I'm sure you've heard the story about the wolf. If you haven't, I'll just remind you of the story. A wise man once said to his grandson, he said, "Son, there's a battle going on between all of us inside. It's always a constant fight. There's a battle between the evil wolf. The evil wolf is focused on greed and jealousy and anger and resentment and judgment. And the good wolf is focused on peace and joy and love and happiness. And there's a battle, a constant battle going on inside all of us." And the boy looked at his grandfather and said, "Well, which wolf wins?" And the grandfather said, "Whichever one you feed." So I'm sure you've heard the story, but how do we apply that story? And I really brought it up with my buddy, talking about this relationship and where it's not at. And so I think this is one of the strongest metaphors that I've seen. I'm a big fan of incantations. I post them a lot on Instagram, and I forward them and I share them. It may sound woo-woo, may sound like, what is this, like happy, positive thought thing? I used to think that too. But I'll tell you, after 15 years of being involved in personal development and studying all Tony's work, immersing myself for 2 years, I found that to be one of the most powerful things that I've seen of actually getting results. And I want to share why this is important. I think this is a good lesson and a good metaphor around it. I found that whole lesson around the good wolf and the bad wolf is super critical. How does this reflect? So maybe think about your life. Think about it for a second. Maybe about politics right now. I see a lot of people that are really upset around politics. And are they feeding what they want to happen? Are they conditioning in their mind and their thoughts what they want? Or are they focused on what they don't want? And are they angry and upset and focused on what they don't want? Which wolf are they feeding? Is it letting them, so that's really important. Maybe look at it grounded into your life. I see it on your finances. I know I do this to even myself. Do you see yourself focused on what you want to create, or are you moving closer to your fears? And are you consciously creating those thoughts that help condition you and move you towards what you want, or are they moving you away from what you want? What about in your body and your health? Are you focused on which wolf are you feeding? The one that's grateful and adores yourself and feels like you're in this fit, vibrant, amazing, sculpture, even if you're not there yet. What are you conditioning? Are you being grateful for what you want to create and being thankful that it's here? Or are you focusing on what you don't want? Let's take another area like, relationships. Maybe let's say like my buddy, this guy that I was coaching. If you really, really, really deep down inside want a passionate, committed, loving relationship, are you telling yourself, like, I'm so grateful it's here? Are you conditioning your mindset with the thoughts that the relationship is there and it's already here and you can see it and you're creating space for it in your life? Or are you feeding the bad wolf? Are you feeding the wolf that says, there's not enough people, there's nobody like me? What's the story you're conditioning? And I ask you just to take a moment and to reflect on this. And you have the power to decide to start to fill your mind with the thoughts that you want in your life. And I'm a big fan. I call that incantations. I got it from Tony. I believe that's one of the strongest things he did, Tony Robbins, to get to where he was at. He literally conditioned his mindset every single day of what he wanted to be. And he started to focus on conditioning it. So to me, the way to integrate it into your life is the next time you catch yourself, well, first, sit down and write down what you want. Like, actually, what it is that you want? What's that dream? What's that fire inside of you? What's that passion that you want, that you truly desire? Once you get that clarity, what's a statement that you could write that's in the present tense as if it's already here? So, for example, my buddy created a 2-page list of the relationship that he wanted, and then he grounded it in and said, I'm so grateful to God and Spirit to have this amazing relationship, right? That's what he repeats every day, right? So then when you find yourself in that situation, and it happens to all of us, I don't care how much work you've done, you find yourself unconsciously and you hear the thoughts running, and you can see the focus. Maybe it's on the judgment, or it's on, call it the evil wolf, right? You're focusing on judgment or fear or jealousy or anger or something outside of ourselves. All you have to do is start to condition that little phrase that you wrote, that incantation, replace those thoughts. Just change your focus, replace those thoughts to the ones that are going to empower you. I have these incantations that I go over again and again. And every time I find myself getting off track, I just recondition those back. Oh, I'm going to consciously choose what I'm going to focus on in my mind, and I'm going to condition these thoughts on a regular basis so that I'm basically choosing to have powerful incantations of what I want to move forward. The result in that is I literally have found out of everything I've done, it's one of the most powerful things you could do, because you're basically creating space in your life and setting the intention that you're going to co-create that it's already here. You're being grateful what's here and setting the intention that you're calling it in and it's already here and you're grateful for it, versus angry and upset and mad or frustrated or ego or whatever could be separating us from it. So you're telling the universe that it's not here. You're telling God and Spirit that it's not here, versus you're being grateful that it's already here. Totally different energy of what we're focused on. So again, ground this into your life. I just want to share a quick message. Which wolf are you feeding? And just become aware of it throughout your day. Are you focused on what's not here and telling yourself where it's not here? Or are you focused on where it's at, what is here, and being grateful for what is? So remember, all you have to do is take a moment, take a breath, and remind yourself, hey, this is what I want in life, and to start to focus on being grateful that it's already here. So hopefully this message helped. I see a lot of people upset about politics and different things that are going on in their life. And I just want to remind you, feed the wolf that you have control over. Feed the wolf that'll let you set in conscious intentions to move towards something that's going to make you feel good. When things don't go right, as they don't a lot of times in our lives, don't be a victim to what's happening in life. Instead, take the power back. Give yourself the power. Set the intention of what you want. Be grateful that it's already here. Like, what do you have to lose? If let's say you wanted a relationship more than anything, maybe that's your dream, but you're scared of it because you've tried a bunch of times and it hasn't worked, or you've been heartbroken, which we've all been, which sucks. But let's say that happens, and so there's a party that's fearful of it. So instead you're like, oh, there's not relationships. It's almost like a protective layer. But what if, let's just say you said, hey, I'm just going to condition my thoughts every day. I'm so grateful to God, or I'm so grateful to Spirit for bringing a greater love and a greater life than I could have ever imagined. Like, what do you have to lose if you just repeat that thought on a regular basis, and you're repeating that 20,000 times a day? Like, what do you have to lose? Nothing. But I'll tell you this, you start to do that on a regular basis, you take the power back into your thoughts. And from at least what I've seen in my life, whether it's changing my finances, changing what I've attracted to me, using this one single principle and taking my power back in this has created more things to me than all the other things I've done. So again, you have the power to do it. Just take the action. Take the action to own your thoughts. So feed the good wolf and have a blessed day.